Hey everyone, I'm Amber.
I'm Paul.
And we are Living the Do Life. Look what happened.
Snow on the
It's
ground.
snowing, and we can hardly see because of the reflection of the snow. We're not used to it. We are from Texas after all. South Texas, and normally we don't see the white stuff. There's actually flurries coming down. I don't know if you can see that, but we just wanted to talk about what it's like in our first snow living full-time in an RV. Even though we've been doing this for 6 years, this is the first time we've actually had snow. And so this is new to us. So in today's video, we're going to talk about some of the things we did to prepare for snow, which we knew was coming according to the news, and some of the things we learned for next time.
We're going to get ready for next time.
Yes.
Be prepared.
Yes, a little bit better. We actually didn't do too bad.
We did pretty good.
Yeah, but some things that you only know you need once you're in the snow, and those are the things that we're gonna let you know so that you can be prepared if you ever have this in your situation. And you may be living in an area where you're used to snow. We don't. We're not used to it.
We're actually pretty lucky because we still have electricity.
Yes.
Otherwise, I have a generator plugged up, which I have it ready for backup.
Yeah, because a lot of my coworkers that actually live in sticks and bricks homes, they are, and even our family and friends that we know, they do not have any electricity. So far, gotta knock on some wood somewhere, we won't lose electricity.
One thing we did lose, of course, the park itself, the water well froze up, so the park has no water. But we were prepared for that.
Yes.
But some of our neighbors, they wasn't prepared, or they had a leak in their water tank to begin with, or something, or whatnot, you know. And some of them, a couple of them didn't prepare for their propane when they needed more propane. So I carried 2 extra bottles with me, small bottles, to be prepared for that.
So one of the ways that we prepared, of course, is water. You have to have water. Some of the ways that we did prepare is that we filled up our Berkey. We got some extra gallons of water, and we filled up our fresh water tank.
Yeah, and the things that we're going to do next time is get some jerry cans or water containers so we can get water before all this happens and have extra water with us to put in the tank when this ever happens again.
Yeah, and regarding flushing, some of the people that even did fill up their freshwater tanks, some of our neighbors, their freshwater tanks froze. So if your freshwater tank freezes, and Paul was saying that it has to do with where the freshwater tank is located in the rig.
Yeah, if it's located underneath your trailer with no cover or nothing, you're not a full season, you know. We live in the Airstream, and it's not really meant for.
It's not a four-season RV.
But it did pretty good. It's got down to the teens last night. Supposed to get down to the teens tonight again, which our furnace is running, which helps out a lot on the tanks and the lines and the trailer.
It helps keep the underbelly warm.
But I disconnect the city water hose and drained it out, so I don't have no problem there.
Yeah. So so I guess as well as we plan on getting some jerry cans. I've never even heard of that word, jerry cans, but
it's pretty much water containers, you know. The jerry cans, they have some for water, some for gas, whatever you want to use it for. Yeah. The ones for water, be sure you get the ones for water because it's made different. The containers made differently for drinking water. Right,
it's safer. And then also there was another thing you can do for flushing the toilet. If you go longer than you have fresh water for, let's say, and you run out of fresh water in your tank, or your fresh water tank freezes, one of the things that you can do is you can get a bucket, fill it with snow, bring it in, and let that snow thaw out to water, and you can use that water to actually flush your tanks.
Yeah, flush your commode.
So our neighbors, he had a leak in his freshwater tank, and so when he filled it up, it just drained out. So he doesn't have any water, and our park right now is without water. So so that's what he did. He took a bucket and filled it up with snow, and is going to let it thaw, and he's going to use that to flush his toilet. So just a little idea for you there.
You do what you got to do.
Do what you got to do.
And a few more things on that too, because some neighbor, you know, you might have something wrong with their tanks, or they leaked out or something like that, or they busted or something, or froze up. Or even another thing is, when you don't have no water in your RV, you need to turn off your water heater, because it has no water running through it. Could burn your heating element out or burn your tank up or something. So you need to turn off your water heater if you have no water in it.
Even just from a day, we're already down to 60% water in our freshwater tank, and we have no idea when the park is going to get water again. So we are not going to be taking any showers and using the water for that. You can always do sponge baths. One of the things that I keep multiple of are these water wipes. It may be backwards when you're looking at it in the camera, I don't know, but I get these water wipes in a case from Amazon, and we always have these so that if we do run out of water, we just use these to clean. They do have them in extra large, which are really nice. I thought that's what I got, but
they come in handy to wipe your dust and dirt off your dog too.
Yeah, we do use these when it's not snowing and Jaxie is running around and gets really dirty with other dogs. We just take those and we just wipe him down with that, because of course the first thing he does is jump on our bed. So anyway, those wipes are really great.
So yesterday I filled up my water tanks, disconnected my water hose, and I'll show you how I do the water tank. Since for water tanks here, I use the outdoor shower to fill my water tank, and I have a filter I use for the Airstream, so that way the water's filtered going into the tank. But I disconnect the water hoses for the freeze and drain them out. I emptied my black tank, so I don't have to worry about that. So it's empty already.
So for meals, I didn't really plan differently for meals. I always plan out the meals that I'm going to have. I happen to have crock pot meals on the list. Crock pot, you still have to wash it out when it's done, and that does use water out of your fresh water tank. But if you make a big meal and it's only one or two of you, then you can eat those leftovers for the next few days. But other than that, just have ready-made stuff, sandwich stuff that doesn't require dishes. Make sure that you have paper plates, plenty of things to drink, and
paper towels.
Yeah, paper towels, plastic forks and stuff, so that things that you're not going to have to use your precious water in your tank to have to wash. And that's pretty much it for food. I didn't really do a whole lot different, but I am feeding neighbors, and Paul's son lives right now in the same park where we're at right now, so when I make these meals, I'm sending food to other people. So just make sure you help out if you can, but at the very least for yourself, make sure that you have things that don't require water to wash or a lot of dishes.
All right, next thing is electricity. Of course, your RV runs off 12 volt and 110, but some things require 110, you know, like to charge your battery or whatnot. If you run out of electricity, which thankfully we haven't been disconnected from electricity, we still have electricity in the park that we're at, which a lot of neighborhoods don't have electricity, and
including just right down the road.
yeah, including just right down the road at the store, they're completely out of electricity. I carry a generator with me. I used to have it in the storage, but I took it out. I would keep it in my truck now, and it's dual fuel. I can run it off propane, or I can run it off gas. Whatever's available around, I'm able to get one or the other. Right now, propane's kind of hard to get because everybody's getting propane, getting their tanks filled and everything. So a lot of stores and stuff are out of propane. They're waiting on deliveries. I carry 2 extra propane bottles with me. The little 20-pounders I use for my griddle, and I have the extra one, which if I need it, I got it.
And you know, on the Airstream, you've got the bigger tanks that you need to be able to fill, but then the good thing about carrying extra little propane tanks is that if a place has where you can just switch out tanks, then you have those to just switch out.
Yeah, especially the little convenience stores, they usually have a little box out there. You can just exchange the bottles. That's the reason I carry two, the small bottles. That way, if I can't get them filled, I can get them exchanged.
Yeah,
No
and then if
problem.
you have a generator that requires gasoline, just make sure that you've really stocked up on gasoline, because a lot of the people here, they do have generators, but they don't have extra gas. So if you weren't able to get to a gas station and weren't able to refill your fuel, that would be a problem for you if the electric went off and then you ran out of gasoline or propane to, you know, fuel your generator. So be prepared in that way.
That's the reason the dual fuel works pretty good. You can either use it both ways, whatever's available to you. And also test out your generator every once in a while. Make sure it's in working order, especially say twice a year. Just check it out and let it run for a little bit and shut her off.
Yeah, because if you know that the freeze is coming, make sure you check it beforehand, because you don't want to get caught in the middle of a freeze with no electricity or heat, and then your generator won't start. And then also, one thing that we don't have is we don't have a gasoline can. And so if we run out of propane to heat the Airstream, and then we run out of electricity and we need propane for the generator and don't have any, we actually right now don't have a gasoline can with gasoline. So
that's on the list too.
That's one of the things we've learned. We want to make sure that we have both propane and extra gas, and so that if we run out of one, we have the other.
I have heat pumps on here, but when it gets down to freezing, the heat pumps don't work, so you have to use your furnace. It's always best to use a furnace anyway, and during the freeze, it keeps your water lines.
So to stay warm, you'll also want to make sure that you've got hats, gloves, coats, scarves, whatever you're going to need, because down here we are not used to this cold weather. And I can tell you that just the little bit of time that I've been outside today, my hands were so cold they actually hurt. I don't remember being so cold before. Like, actually my fingers and my face hurt, like from the cold. We're not used to that. So you do need to make sure that you have the proper clothing.
My eyes. I can eat it. No. You know I eat ice.
Oh my goodness. You know, when you hit the ice. I just recently had bought a pair of hiking boots that are waterproof, and I'm really glad that I did, because I needed them today. Another thing for heat, in case you do run out of propane for your furnace,
Or the furnace quits working.
right, you're going to want to make sure that you have maybe an extra little heater that can be hooked up to a generator in your space, and then maybe a heated blanket. I don't really know how heated blankets work. We've not ever had one because we are mainly in the South, and we've never needed a heated blanket, but that's one of the things we may consider and just keep stored away somewhere in case we need it. We did have a little issue with our furnace last night, and I don't know what you did to fix
that
it.
was a thermostat. I have an electronic thermostat. I just unplug it and reset it and reset everything. I think it went haywire.
Luckily
But
you
it's
got it
fixed
working
now.
because I was like under the covers. I'm like, yeah, it's really cold in here, and it was what, 53 degrees.
Yeah, 53 degrees.
I was like, I'm cold. So anyway, he was able to reset the furnace and get it fixed. Thank God, because like, yeah, that's way too cool. So another thing is your pet. Now, as RVers, we always keep our pets in our RV, right? We don't have outside dogs unless you own land. I don't know, but in our experience and the way that we RV, everyone keeps their dogs in and their pets in, so that's good. But one of the things that I think I'm going to get, that we've learned, is for this type of things, is I'm going to go ahead and get a little coat for Jaxie, just because it's so bitterly cold outside. I don't think if I bought him little socks he would keep those on just the way that he is, but I am going to get him a little coat. Jaxie surprised us. He loves the snow.
His first snow, and he went crazy.
He acts like a puppy. Like
He don't want to come back in.
we have to literally pull his leash and drag him back in the RV. He wants to stay outside. So if any of you saw our summer video where we took him to the beach for the first time, hates the water, doesn't want anything to do with it, but you give him snow all day long, he loves it. Literally, we do have to drag him in. But pets, and then also we did cover up our plants. We did bring our plants in originally, and then I just kept thinking, what if there is a snake crawled up in there, or
I would worry about
bugs?
snakes. I worry about ants.
Yeah, anyway, they went back out the door. So we just took a towel and we kind of put them up against our RV, some of them under, and then we just covered it with a towel, and I hope they live, but we did our due diligence, right?
And we also use salt on the steps. That keeps the steps from freezing up during the cold weather.
But the last thing that we wanted to say is make sure that you're checking on your neighbors. Not everybody knows how to prepare when they're living in an RV. So just kind of round and say, hey, you know, have you filled up your fresh water tank? Have you, and just make sure that if they need any help, you make yourself available to help.
When you're Airstream part, if you're full-timer, you know you always help out with your neighbors. So right now we're gonna walk down to a friend's trailer and hook up a bottle because he's out of town. That way she can have some heat in her RV.
So right now we're going to one of my friends, Stacy's RV. Her husband is an MRI tech, and a lot of the hospitals are on lockdown, or we call it in our sites code gray, and that is workers that are on shift or on call. They have to stay at the hospital. They can't leave. My hands are freezing. And that's him right now. So he texted us and asked him if we could switch out propane tanks for her. So that's what we're doing. I am working online. I'm just taking a little lunch break to go down and check on her as well. We did lose internet once earlier, but the team, my team members that still have internet, we're kind of covering for each other. My internet is back up right now, so I can continue to work and cover for my co-workers. I work in IT that do not have internet. So anyway, this is a new experience for us, and it's kind of awesome. Our Airstream is staying nice and toasty inside. We're not cold at all. Like Paul said, the park did run out of water, but we had filled up our water tanks. I thought, you know, as long as you fill up the water tanks and your propane is coming on, that your tanks won't freeze, but I guess it depends on where your tank is actually located on the rig that you have, because a lot of our friends did fill up their tanks, but their tanks froze as well. So
Ooh, it is chilly out here. That was frozen to the ground in there.
There we go.
Was that the empty one right there?
Yeah, that's the empty one.
Still the snow can stitch. The snow flurry is still coming down.
yep. My hands are freezing.
You ain't got much left in the other one either, so
Okay.
just walk along, get it run out. Your little one's full.
Take care of your neighbors.
Yeah.
Everybody is so nice and so helpful, and we love this community. It is one of our favorite things about full-time RVing is just the wonderful neighbors that we have, and everybody just helps each other out. So, you know, we're not experienced winter snowy people being in the South. So you guys may have a lot of other things that you do to prepare, and if so, please leave a comment down below. We would love to hear it, because we want to be extra prepared for the next time. Like I said, this is our first time with the snow. Yeah. So thank you for watching. This was a really short video. I hope that you're staying warm wherever you are. If you haven't already, please subscribe and
Thumbs up.
give this video a thumbs up, and leave a comment below and tell us how you're doing right now. I think pretty much everybody in the U.S. is getting hit with extreme weather,
And
so
it's everywhere right now in the United States. So y'all
Yes.
stay warm and safe.
yes, and we will catch you down the road. Bye, everybody.
Bye.